Well, can I ask the contributors of the video panel to come up?
Particular order?
I think you'll go first.
There you go, thrown in the deep end. There you go, Chris. Well, for those of you who are here, I'd just like to say what a fascinating and inspiring morning it's been, but I'll just let Chris set up well. So I'll say good afternoon, nearly everyone. It's not quite everyone. So my name is Robert Delamere, and previously, for what I do now, I was a theatre, opera, and broadcast television director and radio director, and I'm working at the Royal Shakespeare Company and the Donmar Warehouse in London and in London's West End. I'm also CEO and co-founder of digitaltheatre.com, our consumer site, and Digital Theatre Plus, our education service. So I chose to come here personally to speak to you because, as far as I am concerned, you are pretty essential to our mission. And I'm here with my colleague Chris Warner, who's behind the screen. And particularly, we'd both like to thank Nancy and Alan, the Theatre Library Association, and SIBMAS for this invitation to what I would call share our vision with you. The vision essentially began in a what if you took a great line by a great poet and you took it literally, all the world's a stage. Digital theatre takes a 5,000-year-old art form, smashes geographical, financial and social boundaries and turns a local auditorium into a global auditorium. It's multi-camera, precision edited, high-definition theatre, captured live, very key, film grammar applied to live performance, all on demand and at the touch of a button and directed to the consumer. Now, Digital Theatre Plus is our global education service, which is actually what I'm here to talk to you about today. This means that these films are now accessible to universities, colleges, and schools worldwide. In fact, we're bringing our work currently, and I think this is very key information, to close to 2 million students from Malawi to Kuala Lumpur and from Rio to Shanghai, and in hundreds of US institutions like Yale, Carnegie Mellon, and Brown. Actually, when Yale students got access, I know there's a few people here from Yale, we got a message saying that when the dramaturgy students heard that it had been acquired, there was a round of applause, and this is exactly the direct audience feedback that we think is so important. Learning's a lifelong passion for many of us here today. So through Digital Theatre Plus, we saw an opportunity to expand this passion and create exclusive commissioned interviews and documentaries with the whole of the theatre industry. Academics, actors, technicians, directors, writers, producers, designers. We wanted to ensure that the very best learning from the best practitioners working in the industries today was passed on from the dozens of companies in the UK and soon from around the world in conversations we are having with companies such as the Bouffe du Nord in Paris and the Lycée in Barcelona. So what's vital to us is that we offer students access to quality and we put a supreme focus on curation and context. Jeff Katzenberg, who you know, said last year when we were at a conference, for us the next 5 years, and this is on behalf of SKG and DreamWorks, for us, the next 5 years of creation are about curation, and that's where the future is. So we want to offer this curated, contextualized experience. So what I want to do today is share some key insights to our service and the dedication, which is very key, and I've really heard that from everyone in an extraordinary way this morning, and the love and the discipline and the intelligence that goes into, we hope, creating what we do. So there's a celebrated group of theatres that we work with, some of which you can see on the board above you. Royal Shakespeare Company, Royal Court, the Almeida, the Open Air Theatre, and the Young Vic. And they have, working with us, helped us shape and refine what we share with our audience. And what I'm just going to show you now is a short trailer of some of the work that we've done.
She is a fair lady.
I confess nothing.
It's night time, and the most dreadful deed has been committed. The key thing to achieve dramatically with this scene is it must be scary, it must be thrilling, it must feel full of anxiety.
If your character's walking off stage exactly with the same knowledge and the same feelings he had when he walked on, then you've missed something in the scene, because the scene shouldn't be there. You've got to find out what it is, what knowledge is he getting, what knowledge is he lost sometimes.
Are thou not fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade indulging gouts of blood which were not so before.
So I go, and he goes, and I go, and soon we're tapping away. Sorry, Charlie, it's a secretary on the intercom. Yes, miss, it's a messenger. Thanks, miss. Will you tell him to wait? Will you order the car? Will you call up the bank? Will you wire the coast? Will you... Sorry, Charlie. Mutter, 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 mutter. Sell the stocks. Mutter, buy the rights. Mutter, 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 mutter. Let me put you on hold. Yes, miss. It's the interview. Thanks, miss. Will you tell him to wait? Will you wire the car? Will you order the coast? Will you send up the bank? And the telephones blink and the stock jet's sold, and the rest of us he keeps on hold, and he's into making movies, and he's now a corporation, right? So I play at home with my wife and kids, and I wait to hear the movie bits, and I've got a little sailboat, and I'm into meditation, right? He flies off to California. I discuss him with my shrink. That's the story of the way we work, me and Franklin Shepard Inc. You know, I am beginning to enjoy this.
So these are some of the award-winning and critically acclaimed productions that are so crucial and important to us. And it's the principle, basically, in terms of carrying on and passing on learning about best practice. And so what we do is we invite all the creative teams, the directors, the designers, the lighting designers to each production to collaborate with us. So it becomes a true creative partnership and therefore can exist and stand the test of time. And rights thing, as mentioned in that piece, becomes very crucial to us and the future for the education service, because it's about it being available globally in perpetuity to all students. So what I want to do just now is give you a bit of an insight into the creative process and quickly show you 4 examples and talk about these 4 examples. So the first example is Arthur Miller's All My Sons. So working with a writer, a man who I had luck to meet when I was 25 on a park bench in the Serpentine, who told me that the only virtue in life is to have courage, after Winston Churchill, he said, is that actually in working with the spirit of his piece and following the structural dynamics of the play, a key example of how this operates will be this scene. So the drama in each of the scenes in All My Sons develops from a social group and progresses into a single character deciding to speak the truth, lie, or accept the lie from another character. So in this live capture and edit, we planned coverage to mirror those dynamic script values and the dramatic structure of the play. So 2 and 3 shots and group shots serve the social and group moments, and single shots and dynamic close-ups as characters are forced into making a choice to speak the truth or lie. In this edit, the assembly that we did mirrored this dramatic structural pattern. As you can see here, as Chris Keller and Ann Deaver negotiate the lies and truth that define the play.
People think my father was guilty. I assumed there might be some question in your mind.
But I never once said I suspected him.
Nobody says it.
Chris, I know how much
Do you
love
think that I could forgive him if he'd done that thing?
I'm not here out of a blue sky, Chris. I turn my back on my father if there's anything wrong here now.
I know that, and
George is coming from Dad, and I don't think it's with a blessing.
he's welcome here. You've got nothing to fear from George.
Tell me that. Just tell me that.
The man's innocent, Anne. You remember he was falsely accused once and it put him through hell? How would you behave if you were faced with the same thing again? Annie, believe me, there's nothing wrong for you here. Believe me, kid.
All right, Chris. All right.
So in a second example from the Royal Shakespeare Company's As You Like It, directed by the former artistic director Michael Boyd, he was keen to make the thrust audience at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre a fundamental part of the film. So we, for a whole evening in front of a live audience, only shot the live audience as a separate character and all their reactions. Now the clip you're about to see is the only section of a 3.5-hour film in which the audience were kept in the edit. Now why? Well, it was the only moment of direct address and the only time the audience could effectively appear as a character. Otherwise, it broke the dynamic of the play. And the only time it made sense, Jaques had given them the floor.
More? You want more? It will make you melancholy. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More. Another stanza. Call you them stanzas. Hmm? No, 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 no. I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Who doth ambition shun?
He's very wonderful in that production, I have to say. The next piece is Emmy Award winner and Oscar nominee Abby Morgan's play Love Song. And I think it's one of digital theatre's most cherished titles. It is a heartbreaking drama about love that spans a 40-year marriage. But the unique thing about the production is that the 2 characters are played by a set of two actors. So 2 actors at the start of the marriage and 2 actors 40 years later at the conclusion of their love. And choreographic flow in performance was mirrored by rotating overhead camera to create a dynamic sense of space and time and try and or attempt to mirror the poetic values of a play about a lifetime of love. This clip dramatizes the bliss of domestic sexual love. And this last clip is from Ibsen's Ghost. This multi-Olivier Award winner, directed by the former artistic director of the National Theatre, Richard Eyre, recently won 3 Olivier Awards for Leslie Manville for Best Actress and for Jack Lowden for Best Supporting Actor. And as somebody who gave the first theatre jobs to a number of people who've gone on to have great success in the theatre and in television and film, Tom Hardy and Kate Winslet and Colin Farrell, Jack Lowden, I think, in this clip, is somebody who you will all know in your future lives. So this is an exclusive today. The world premiere is on Monday at the Empire Leicester Square, and it's the first ever piece of event cinema recorded in Dolby Atmos, and the third in our West End theatre series. After Noel Coward's Private Lives and Sometimes Merrily We Roll Along. What is Dolby Atmos, I hear you think? So Dolby Atmos is an advance in sound technology. If you think mono, stereo, 5.1 stereo, surround sound stereo, Dolby Atmos is a sense in which you hear unfortunately you can't hear it in here because we're not in a Dolby Atmos studio, but you basically can hear the rain above you and the fire behind you, the rumbling underneath your feet. So it's, I think, our most achieved capture to date.
Can my mother bear to watch her son in pain? It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Here's my hand. Will you do it, Mama? If I have to. Thank you, Mama. You feel calmer now? Yes, Mama. Yes. All those awful thoughts were in your imagination. Oh. You made them up because of the pain and the fear, but you're with your mama now, sweetheart. You can rest.
So it's just an example of some of the work, and we very much believe at Digital Theatre and Digital Theatre Plus, and also through the work we did with Talia and Routledge, through the Routledge Performance Archive that we curated together, and actually we currently host and provide the hosting for. All very much believing in opening a window onto expertise and best practice and learning and insight and the living industry. And we at Digital Theatre Plus wanted to create a legacy and a catalogue, fresh from the minds and the imaginations of contemporary practitioners, and keeping them for as long as we could keep them. We're growing constantly with new exclusive content released on Digital Theatre Plus every single week, talking to the industry. And we very much feel that we don't want to rest until our audience is as excited as we are by what we do. We want to give everyone the best seat in the house, and and simply inspire new generations, and we hope that some of you in this room will help us do that. And obviously, Chris and I would love to offer you the opportunity to talk about the service in more detail and about bringing access to it if it's something that you find of interest, either through a free trial or subscription. Or also, if you're a content creator, we'd love to speak with you too. But thank you today for giving us the opportunity to share our particular passion, which I hope is yours too. Thank you.